Destroy WrestleTalk.
Soon everything will be Fakeador.
Luke? Luke? Lukey, where are you? You meant to be hosting the news. How unprofessional. Where the hell could Luke be? What's this? A note? Which probably reveals to me where Luke is. What could it say? I'll read it after I've hosted this news episode to find out. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Super News. I'm Ollie Davis. We've got a Macho Grande show for you today, including Bray Wyatt teasing his WWE return for like the 38th time this year, a rundown of Ring of Honor's 17th anniversary show and how that affects New Japan's G1 Supercard, and Becky Lynch revealing she was almost released by WWE. Click the timestamps in the video description below to jump to any of those stories right now. Also, press the thumbs up button, give us a subscribe to help us climb the hill to 1 mil in subscribers, and answer our question of the day down below. Who do you want to see retire Kurt Angle and why? Because I'll be replying to people in the comments from out of nowhere. Kurt kicked off his farewell tour in his hometown of Pittsburgh by beating Apollo Crews on last week's episode, announcing he would be wrestling his final match at this year's WrestleMania. Until then, it appears he'll be facing a different opponent each week on Raw. In WWE's latest teasing Instagram post, presumably written by a caveman, asking who you think Kurt Angle's final opponent should be, they've listed the hugely appropriate John Cena, who debuted on the main roster against Angle in 2002, Samoa Joe, who Kurt had a classic feud with in TNA, and Shelton Benjamin, part of Kurt's Team Angle with Charlie Haas in the early noughties. And then the not-so-appropriate mid-card of evil with Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, and Drew McIntyre. Why are you a team? But another very exciting bro has just thrown their flip-flop into the mix. The answer is simple, Kurt, and the answer is bro. This is what the fans want, and deep down, it's what you need. Riddle versus Angle for the world. World emoji. Hashtag bro. Hashtag stallion. Hashtag OB. Hashtag original bro. Hashtag king of bros. Hashtag WWE. Hashtag NXT. Hashtag WWE Network. Hashtag Riddle versus Angle. According to Kurt himself on a recent Facebook Q&A though, he's actually not that fussed who retires him. It truly doesn't matter who it is. Part of me wants a legend like Cena, and part of me wants an upcoming talent. I've always prided myself on putting over younger talent in this business. I'm just happy to be performing at WrestleMania. There's so many possibilities. A host of huge name classic rivalries like your Cenas or Samoa Joes, or younger talent like McIntyre and Riddle who could be put over huge on the grandest stage of them all. Or that guy who hasn't been seen on WWE TV since last June, until last week where he randomly appeared in a match against Seth Rollins. Yeah, let's go for that guy. Benjamin issued the challenge on Twitter. WrestleMania? Guaranteed instant classic and wrestling. I'm game. It's true. Let's make it happen. Hashtag Team Angle exclusive, with a mocked up graphic of Shelton versus Angle at Mania, which Kurt has seemingly accepted, replying, I'm game. While the two have a history together, Angle versus Benjamin is hardly the big WrestleMania retirement match Kurt's career deserves. Hopefully it's just setting up yet another farewell tour match for Angle on tonight's Raw. But in the end, ultimately, who really cares? Because Ronda's just gonna tell us it's all scripted anyway. Because the feud between Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch didn't have enough material already heading into WrestleMania 35, with, at current estimates, 2 suspensions, 1 arrest, a heel turn, a Charlotte Flair being added, an injury, a hold harmless agreement, and Lynch's entire Twitter account, WWE took a new tact with Rousey off the back of her post-Fastlane heel turn, exposed to fans that wrestling is scripted. I had no idea. Rousey continued exposing the business on the most recent episode of her YouTube series Ronda on the Road, where along with embracing the person who denounced her actions on last week's Raw, Natalya, also just randomly turns to the camera at one point and says, wrestling's scripted. Again, this is completely new news to me. I'm so shocked. Shortly after Ronda exposed the business again, she's shown backstage running up to WWE manager Paul Heyman for an embrace, as it's Heyman who's said to be behind Rousey's promos and social media direction, something Becky has called her out for on Twitter, posting a picture of Heyman's head where Ronda's microphone should be.
Sweetality.
Now Rousey has followed up calling wrestling scripted with the most wrestling move possible by releasing merch. Do you break kayfabe and send marks into a tweeting rage? Then your conduct may be rated rowdy. Avoid offending the easily offended by warning them off with one of these Rousey.com limited edition t-shirts with a break kayfabe design and one with a disclaimer about how she doesn't respect the business. Hopefully the money raised by those t-shirt sales will help Ronda pay WWE's fine, as the promotion have announced they're docking her an unspecified amount of money as a result of her unprofessional actions last Monday on Raw, when she beat up a bunch of referees. Which doesn't really matter though, because it's all scripted. Ronda's WrestleMania opponent Becky, though, is the real deal. It's almost like WWE is making me dislike a heel and root for a babyface. At a signing over the weekend, one fan reportedly suffered a seizure while waiting in line, prompting Lynch to sprint to the rescue. Becky is the nicest person ever, and I haven't even talked to her yet, but a lady was unable to get up the stairs and she hopped up to run and hug her and sign her picture. I almost forgot to tell you guys, Becky Lynch is a really effing good person. A girl had a seizure in line at the signing, started shaking uncontrollably and couldn't make it up the stairs. Becky ran and held her tight as she could for like 5 minutes until it completely stopped. The fan then later clarified that it looked like the seizure itself had stopped just before and Becky was just hugging her for comfort. Wait a second. Becky hopped up and ran? You're meant to be selling a knee injury, Lynch. You're worse than Ronda. I'd still rather have kayfabe breaking Becky over no Becky at all though, as Lynch has revealed in a happy St. Patrick's Day tweet she posted yesterday that she was nearly released from WWE back in early 2014. A couple of weeks before this, they were going to let me go. I've been fighting to survive at this place since before day one. I'll never be above what I had to do to stay alive. Hashtag Happy St. Paddy's Day. The accompanying image is of Becky's debut match in NXT, wrestling Summer Rae in June 2014, just over a year after Becky signed her 2-year developmental deal with WWE in April 2013. By the following year, in 2015, Becky would have become a linchpin, pun points, in the NXT women's division alongside Charlotte, Bayley and Sasha Banks. And just 4 years after that, it now looks like she'll be in WrestleMania's first ever female main event. Summer Rae wasn't so lucky, getting released in October 2017. That's not the only time WWE have nearly released someone who would then go on to become one of their biggest stars. John Cena was famously nearly fired just 2 months after his main roster debut match against Kurt Angle, because of a mixture of being called up too soon and backstage politics. Luckily for him though, Stephanie McMahon took a liking to his promo skills and decided to keep him on. Cena, of course, came through early noughties developmental territory OVW. Lynch made her name in NXT, and pretty much everyone else on WWE's main roster was taken from Ring of Honor. Happy 17th birthday, ROH! Well, kind of. Their first ever show was on February 23rd, 2002, but the promotion celebrated their 17th anniversary over the weekend in mid-March. It was a big night for former WrestleTalk host Marty Scurll, who not only defeated Kenny King, setting up an ROH World Championship match against Jay Lethal at the Madison Square Garden G1 Supercard show on the 6th of April, but his Villain Enterprises stablemates Brody King and PCO defeated the Briscoes to become the new World Tag Team Champions. The next few stories are from the following night's TV tapings for ROH episodes that haven't yet aired, so skip ahead using the timestamps below if you want to avoid them. Because we're entering the spoiler room brawl in 3, 2, CM Punk returned! Just kidding. 1. Scurll's Villain Enterprises would continue their momentum, defeating the Kingdom's Matt Taven, TK O'Ryan and Vinny Marseglia to also become the new 6-man tag team champions, which the Kingdom have held since beating the Young Bucks and Cody back in November last year. This sets up the possibility of Villain Enterprises holding all the titles come April, as Scurll will be fighting Lethal for the World Championship at the G1 Supercard show on WrestleMania weekend. But an interesting new wrinkle has been added to the bout. Matt Taven versus Jay Lethal for the world title at the 17th anniversary show was declared a draw when they reached the 60-minute time limit. Because of this, Taven has been added to the G1 Supercard world title fight, and it's now a ladder match. They join a very exciting G1 Supercard that includes Jeff Cobb versus Will Ospreay for both the ROH TV title and New Japan Never Openweight belt, Taiji Ishimori defending his IWGP Junior Heavyweight title against Dragon Lee and Bandido, Villain Enterprises versus Bullet Club's Gorillas of Destiny for both the ROH and New Japan heavyweight tag titles, and Jay White defending his IWGP Heavyweight Championship against the winner of the New Japan Cup, which is speculated to be Kazuchika Okada. There's a lot going on right now in wrestling, but that doesn't excuse one man being lost in the shuffle since last September. Bray Wyatt hasn't been seen on WWE TV since September 15th last year, only appearing at a few live events in the 6 months since. Last week, Tom Colahue of the Pro Wrestling Torch teased the plans for Wyatt's return are probably the most closely guarded secret in WWE. I don't even know if he'll be on Raw or SmackDown Live. I've been told both, but also different potential storylines. To my knowledge, he's still in creative hiatus. Now Bray himself is teasing a comeback on Twitter, potentially referencing Colahue's report. News from the horse's mouth, not someone else's ass. New and improved Wyatt family compound. Preparing my daughter's mini horses for the Battle of New York. Life is good, man, especially when you know rebellion and redemption are around the corner. I'll see you when I see you. Hashtag revenge is a confession. Hashtag hook 'em horns. With a picture of him and real-life WWE ring announcer girlfriend JoJo riding a buggy. New York is, of course, where WrestleMania 35 is taking place, potentially teasing Bray's return at either the grandest battle royal of them all, or perhaps the following night's Raw or SmackDown. JoJo has also been off WWE TV since the New Year's Eve episode of Raw, with her official website citing a personal reason, and she will eventually be back. And now it's time for me to read this letter regarding Luke's whereabouts. Now, we have a Luke. Signed El Fakador. Luke's been kidnapped! Quick! Click the video on the right now to see what's happened to Luke and leave a comment telling him to break out from Screen Stalker and return to WrestleTalk. And while you're there, infiltrate Screen Stalker and give him a subscribe. Report back. We need to win this war. I will defeat you, El Fakador!